Hello there. I'm showing a box here. I've got a return back from Amazon. And what you've got is all these returns that show up that you kind of want to sort through and say, is this sellable yet or not? I recently got a whack of returns coming back from Amazon, and it was a nightmare. I had probably 30 boxes of stuff sitting there and trying to figure out a system where I could track it, organize it, and get it into a state where I know what to donate, what to sell, what to list maybe on, an aftermarket site like Facebook or someone like that. And so what I wanted to have was also kind of a way to kind of, figure out what's the percentage of how much of the stuff am I getting back, is it still sellable, basically, so I can just kind of have an understanding of how much future time should I dedicate to those processing, and how much cost is there to recover, right? So, anyways, just looking at barcodes, I want to have a process where I could just zip through with my barcode reader and go through it and just kind of zip, scan all the things and get things back into a tracked and sortable fashion. So what I've done is I created a screen that I'll show in a second here in Arbanon, where you can go and scan the tracking ID. You can scan the Amazon code here if you're so inclined. And then once you open your box, you got your famous little packing slip. And so there's a barcode there as well you can scan, just so you can say, okay, yeah, I can track it back. All this stuff becomes very important when you start doing claims, especially when you start tracking these LPN numbers. And so there's a report in Seller Central that you can download, and it kind of collects some of it, but doesn't have all of it. So you want to also make sure that we're going to put a process in place, rather, that we'll download that report, and then at least we'll have something where you can say, okay, well, there's sent 10 things back. Did we get all 10, or did only 9 show up? Because that could be another reimbursement. And so it's really about controlling that tail end process so that the death pile doesn't pile up too much, and kind of go from there. So what I'm going to do is, I got this package here. I'm going to show you how I would process this in the new screen I put in Arbanon. So just hang tight. We'll get to that in a second here. So this new screen is called Amazon FBA removals. Now what this will do is let you track all those returns. You can sort the returns that come from FBA removals, and that can be kind of two categories, whether it's a stock return, you want to lighten the load in the warehouse, or you've got customer returns that you need to kind of sort through and see, is it maybe sellable still on Amazon, sell it on Facebook, etc., etc. So on the screen layout here, you've got this little barcode kind of input thing. This is where the barcode reader puts its information. On the upper right, there's this large font thing, so that you can kind of step away from the screen, so you can kind of do this away from being in front of the keyboard. And so it tells you that you're currently everything you scan is going to assume you want to add that to what you're scanning. Okay, and so later on, if you accidentally scan something in that you didn't mean to, you can click this flip to delete mode, and it will change it from the current mode of being add to delete. Therefore, anything you scan after that, it'll assume you're taking that out of this screen. Okay, so coming back to add, the disposition is sellable. So I've got a sellable disposition, so I want to dispose it, throw it away, donate it to someone. I might maybe want to sell it on aftermarket, so like Facebook, marketplace, etc. I just want to put this on hold because I need to come back and do some more investigation, or I intend to file a claim, like a reimbursement, or something's damaged from a carrier, so I know now what the buckets are, right? So when I'm taking this stuff out of the box, eventually I want to probably have a separate box or bin or something for each of these different categories, and that way I can kind of accumulate them and then deal with them as a batch. But now I don't have to keep them sitting in these Amazon boxes that are accumulating and taking up all this space. So let's run through the process, and I will just make sure that I have everything kind of set up here. I'm just going to put it as a sellable item. So anyways, I'm going to scan the box tracking ID, and the first thing I need to do here is get that in there. And so it's smart enough, so we've got Canada Post tracking IDs and Amazon Logistics in there. So for extra bonus, I can scan the box barcode, and so now it shows that as well. And so this is just a little extra information, so when you're running in the future, we're going to have some extra reconciliation features so that you can track against what's in the returns report in Seller Central. So I've now opened the box. I pulled out the tracking slip, so it's got that barcode in the upper right corner. It's going to give that a quick scan, and then it kind of populates that into the slip section on the left side of the packing slips there. Now I've got just 2 units in here. I got this first one's got an LPN on it, so let's give that a quick little zip. And another one here. And come here. My barcode reader, I think, is starting to get a little bit old. All right, so I've got 2 items I'm calling sellable. So what I'm actually going to do now, just to demonstrate this, is I'm going to say flip it to delete. I'm going to say take this one off. And say, you know what? I'm actually going to just sell that on like eBay or something. So now I have delete, change it back to add, and scan. There we go. So now I've got these 2 tracked. Now I can put these in their respective, take it out of the boxes, put it in their respective bins. Now I'm done. So at least I have a way of tracking it and keeping those items nice and separate and ready to go. Anyways, I hope this is something that's useful for you. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to make this better for your processes. Love to hear from you. Talk to you soon.